Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he needs to give me half of his company if he wants me to be a housewife? Damn. Okay. Demands being made. Let's do this.
Wow.
My husband and I, both 35, have been married for 6 years, and we have 2 children together and one on the way. He said that he wanted me to be a housewife and stop working. I was very disturbed by that, but he explained that it was for the better of our family and our children since he can afford a very good living. After a few weeks of thinking, I told him that I would agree, but only if I get half of his company. He was so surprised by this, but I explained further that the more I stay at home, the less chance I would have to find a well-paying job should we ever divorce, because I would have less merits, while he would stay making more money each year. So I want half the company. If we never divorce, which is the goal of all marriages, then it would never matter. But should it, in the end, it would be the price of me staying home and raising our children so that he could be less worried about and stressed. It would be the price of me staying home and raising our children so he could be less worried and stressed out. His words, that he would be less anxious and stressed out if he knew that they were with me rather than with strangers in daycares or nannies. When I told my friends, they called me the asshole. My best friend was very angry and called me disgusting, so I was taken back a little. Am I the asshole?
You know, initially I thought she was the asshole.
Okay.
At first I was like, well, you want 50% of his business?
Mhm.
You know? But then you know what changed my mind? It was when he told her, you're staying home. Oh no, he didn't really command it from her, but he was like, I would want you to stay home and take care of our kids. And she was disturbed by that. She made sure to mention that. And she is somebody clearly who is very career focused, and she wanted to keep moving up in the industry, in the business, you know? And to that point, it's so hard to get a job after a certain time when you're not in the company anymore, you know? Like when you're not in the industry anymore, because you need references. And if your references are from 5-10 years ago, who's going to take you seriously, right? You're going to have to start again from point zero.
Yeah.
So my question is, and I don't even know if this actually matters, but is he a very successful man where his company is worth hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars?
Is the guy himself? I didn't think she described that.
She didn't
She
say
said he
a
makes a
wage.
very good living.
Yeah,
Okay,
she said.
I think she's justified. I think that's super justified because her whole goal was to make a savings where she's able to sustain herself, but now she is under his wing.
Yeah.
So God forbid if they ever get a divorce, chances, I'm not saying they are, but 50% of all marriages do end up in divorces, right?
Yeah.
So if she has all her cards in one place, at the very end of her marriage, she's not going to be well off, you know? So I think it's very clever of her to be like, I want to make sure that if worse comes to worse, if we do end up going our own separate ways, I'm good, you know? And I think it's but to that point, she's like, I don't think we're going to, because the whole point of marriage is just to be like in love and keep it sustainable, right?
Yeah.
So I just think she's just making little nuances to make sure that she's good if things go down the wrong pipe hole, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think she's an asshole at all.
The pipe hole?
Yeah. Down the pipe hole?
Thought it was pipeline.
It's pipeline.
It's both.
What are you thinking about?
listen, don't bring that stuff here. Don't bring
I'm sorry.
Listen, don't make me seem false.
I'm sorry. Force of habit. No, but I do agree. It's like a female prenuptial agreement, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let me ask you guys this. Would you make, if you were, had some kind of financial success in life, inshallah, would you make your spouse sign a prenuptial agreement?
It depends. Like, where in my life am I? Am I already successful? Am I already there?
Yeah, you're already there.
Okay, then I would consider it. Because I think it's entirely different where if I was like already broke and she was there supporting me along the way, and then she might not have been in like doing my job with me, but she was supporting me in doing my job, you know? So I think 100% she gets a cut from that. I'm not giving her by no means any prenup, but if I'm already a household name, and she just came now, I don't think she's entitled.
But let's say she came now, but she's worthy of being your spouse. You know, like you already see this person as like your wife. You love her. She loves you. Everything is great. But there's this one aspect of you that you've successfully made something of yourself, and you're going to be sharing this lifestyle with this person.
I think honestly, I think I would have a prenup regardless. Like, it depends on where I am in my life. If she's there from the get-go and supporting me, sure.
Mhm.
Like, you get a cut, whatever. That's why when Jeff Bezos and his wife got
Yeah.
cut, I was like, yo, even though she's now the richest person in the world, she was there while he was growing that business, you know?
Yeah.
So she deserves that cut. But when it's like these major people who get a cut and it's like, you were only there for such months of my life and you deserve this? Like, I
So
I
you
think some people have an agenda.
the newer the relationship, the more necessary a prenup is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because maybe the difference is she liked me at a point where I didn't have anything to offer.
Mhm.
And you saw my success and you supported me and we did it together. It was
Yeah.
a teamwork.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if I'm already the hierarchy, if I'm already at the top and you find me, you like me, there's elements of you maybe liking my success, you know?
Mhm.
There's maybe the reason why you like me is because although you think I have a lot of great qualities of being a great human being, there's an element of this guy can support me too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm willing to, you know, cut my finances in half if just for somebody who came into my life at the near end of my journey,
Yeah.
you know?
Interesting.
My opinion though.
That's a good stance. What do
Yeah.
you guys think?
LeVar Ball made a quote, I think when LaMelo was in high school. He said this on, I think it was their reality show, where he said, you better meet a girl right now. Like, because you're not going to find a girl like your mom when you make to the league. Because you're going to meet a certain, he said you're going to meet a hoe when
Yeah.
you make to the league. But I love how she didn't ask for a certain amount of money though. She asked for stocks in his company. So if he does well, she does well. And he doesn't have to present this upfront money or this money later on. We had a discussion. I don't think we had a discussion on the podcast. There's a clip that's going viral, I think a few months ago, about this guy walking into his bedroom to his girl in the bed, saying, you've been taking money from my shared account and putting it into a private account that I didn't know about.
Mhm.
And she didn't find anything wrong with that. But he's saying, you're stealing from us. Like, you're taking money and putting, and she said, I have to be prepared just in case we split.
Yeah.
And I'm here taking care of the kids. I like how she presented it up front. He presented a proposition saying that you can stay home, I'll be the breadwinner, and we'll be good, we'll be stable. But she said up front, if I'm going to do that, proposition with a proposition, if we're going to do that, I got to be taken care of regardless. Because let's say you make it to a certain level, like we were talking about earlier about pro athletes. Make it to a certain level, they may leave their first girl that got them to that level, that
Yeah.
was a part of that. But if she's thinking, I have no problem with that. If she's cleaning up everything, and so they can have a happy marriage later on, she's in her complete right.
Okay. Well, I wanted to answer first if I would ever
Do a
make
prenup.
my significant other sign a prenup, and me personally, I would never in a million years
Okay.
have anything to do with a prenup, because even if I was like, $100 million up, to me, I feel like I'm going to go through such a strenuous process before I get married and finding the woman that I want to marry. Like, I'm going to make sure that I leave no ground uncovered. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, I want to see more of like what they are in their own space, how they act without me, how they act with me, how they act with their family, It's going to be a lot deeper than just how they look, the right things they
Serious
say to me.
vetting.
Yeah, serious vetting. And I think that the woman that I marry, I decide that I'm going to take from whatever we're seeing each other to this is now my wife. Like, we have the whole ceremony and everything. That's going to be the time where I feel like even if me and this woman spend a year together, we have one child right away, and then it completely flips and I hate this woman now.
Yeah.
How I feel about her in that time that I marry her is never going to change.
Okay.
For the rest of my life, I'll have always been infatuated with this woman at one point.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I feel like that person automatically is indebted to me. And she helped me, whether I was already 100 million up or not, she helped me with my peace of mind at that time.
So you're indebted to her.
Yeah, I'm indebted to the woman that I marry, because like I said, serious vetting beforehand.
Yeah.
I want to marry somebody that I think is right for me.
Mhm.
So I would never look at a prenup in any way. Like, I would never want to envision our relationship ending,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like in this scenario, since they've already been together for 6 years, to me, I kind of feel like this man hasn't done anything to you so far, that we know at least. He's been there the entire time. He's been supporting, because he's wealthy himself, like she said.
Mhm.
So I think to question his character because he wants a better upbringing for the children that we both share,
Yeah.
that's both of our reflections of the future. Like,
Mhm.
we both have to make sure that these kids are prepared for the future. Otherwise, we did a shitty job.
Yeah.
So he's trying to say, let me handle everything else outside of that, and you make sure that our little ones are being taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think to debate that is completely fair. To say, nah, I don't want to do that, I want to work. Or what about if we were to get split? To have those conversations is fair. But to extend that to, if we are to get divorced, I need 50% of what you have worked on, to me is a little bit like if I was the guy in that scenario, I'd feel like she's not putting faith in everything that we've built for 6 years, you know?
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
I'd be like, I haven't done anything to show you that we might get divorced. We have a lovely relationship. We have children.
Yeah,
And everything that I'm saying, I think is just for the better of us.
I agree.
So where is it now that you feel the end of our relationship could be rocky? Is it just because I'm asking you to drop some of your aspirations?
True. And I 100% agree. That's why we're brothers, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm rocking with this guy, man. He took my whole point. I'm like, okay. But to be honest with you, you're right, man. Like, I think about it, like, when you're getting into a marriage, I've asked this to so many married couples, like, what is the hard parts and what is the good parts?
Mhm.
So all of them have been telling me it's not always smooth sailing, you
Yeah.
know? And you have to anticipate hard times. You have to anticipate changing in people and adapting to societies. And there's so much nuance in a relationship that every part of a marriage to me should be just built off of trust. How much do you trust this person doing this role, whether they're the husband, the father, the mother, the wife, because those are jobs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's how much do you trust this person to do their role to the best of their ability? Because that's what you need both parties in their marriage to do, right? And that's, to me, is built all off of trust,
Okay.
There's people that were married in like the 50s, the 60s, who had 50-year-long marriages, 40-year-long marriages, just built off of trust,
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to come hard times. Of course, there's going to come issues down the line when that much time has passed. But that's to be expected. You know what I mean? I don't think you can put a cap on your trust. And that's what these people are doing with these prenuptial agreements. And I think that kind of, just like you said, it taints the trust factor in the relationship, because in my head, when I'm marrying somebody, it's till death.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it. We're locked in for life. I can't be thinking about the rainy day when I'm thinking about the end of my life with somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's just me putting my faith and my trust into this person being it. That goes back to what you were saying. The vetting process has to be crazy meticulous. So you have to ask the hard-hitting questions before you get with somebody, and you have to truly get the genuine response from them, not just the surface layer answer, not just what they want you to hear, right? So I think a lot of people are having trouble with building that trust factor in a marriage because they either want a certain lifestyle or they want a certain way of living to be in their future. But when you truly and honestly connect with somebody on that level, I don't think that there's a dollar amount, or I don't even think that there's a time where you're thinking to yourself, okay, I might not be with this person anymore. I think that you're just completely locked in for life, So I think that I personally agree with Khaled here. Like, I would never get a prenuptial agreement, and I'm a business owner,
Yeah.
I'm expecting the person I get with to have some of my business, no matter what, especially if they're the mother of my children, I'm expecting them to have a big stake in that. And I'm expecting them to be a good reason why the business is going to succeed the way it will succeed. So, like, it's earned to me, it's not necessarily like them holding off for a rainy day. I see it as like, this is what they deserve,
Okay.
And inshallah, down the line, if it comes to, God forbid, obviously, if it comes to the point where I get divorced with somebody, I'll be comfortable laying my head at night thinking, okay, I gave it the best I could. It just didn't work out,
Yeah.
Okay.
And if that comes with some consequences, that's just life. I can't be hung up and mad about it. That's just the decisions that I made have taken me here. No one else. That's truly how, honestly, I feel about it.
Very well said. I
Thank you.
disagree, but very well said. So
But-
to each their own.
But that's pretty much my point on it.
So is she the asshole for wanting a prenup?
Yeah, I would say.
Hell yeah.
Was
Without a
she-
question. 50%?
I don't think she's the asshole at all. Though.
I agree with that.
Also, I want to throw. I know we're wrapping up, but there's also another route to not having a prenup. Some people don't get legally on paper married. You just have a ceremony.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really intriguing idea where it's still you're not signing no paper saying that I don't trust you, but at the same time our lives are separate, but we still have a union.
Yeah.
So I think that's another route a lot of people take, and I think it's an intriguing one.
Okay.
Fair
I
point.
think she's the asshole. I mean, I think I meant to say she's not the asshole because she's sacrificing an element of her life, you know. And
Yeah.
I get what you mean, but clearly this is somebody who had career aspirations. Maybe being a mother wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. Based off what she said, being a mom is important, maybe, but you know, being somewhere in life maybe could have been a goal she had since she was a kid, and you're taking that away from her, in some shape or form, you know.
I mean, if I was the guy, if I could add my own little innovation to this scenario, I would bring her on board. Like, come
She-
work for my company.
She doesn't want to. He wants her to.
No,
stay.
eventually down the line. I mean, like, once
Mhm.
to get
Once
the
you
ability
get
to,
that
yeah,
role.
like, come establish yourself again. You know,
Okay.
like, that's what I would open the door to. Like, let's revisit this topic, when
Yeah.
the time is right. Instead of like, yo, you just a housewife for life.
That could be a sticky situation though.
You don't want to work with your
I
divorced wife.
purely think she's the
Well, if they
asshole
don't get
just
divorced, it
because-
would be better.
I purely just think she's the asshole because she, like I just think she should think in her mind right now, after 6 years of being married, she should think, even if we got divorced today with no prenup, he'll take care of me.
That's
That's
so.
That should be her
lot of
thought
trust,
process.
though.
That's a lot of trust for.
Yeah.
That should be her thought process.
Then why get married?
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
then
If
why
you don't
get married?
believe
We're
that
gonna wrap
for the
up,
person
but-
that you got married to, then you shouldn't be married to them.
Why would get married?
True, but my thing is, when you get to the divorce aspect of it, something that you said earlier was, "I will take care of her regardless." When you get to a divorce, there's already to get to a divorce. There's already emotions involved where you don't want to be with this person anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So chances are, for most people, I think it's very heroic of you to say that. For most people, you don't want to be associated with this person anymore because maybe there's a reason why they got a divorce that you don't want to associate with them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so
But they're the mother of your children.
it's different when they're their mother. Like
Mhm.
I will at any point, if I have kids with somebody, I have to support, and we're not together anymore. I have to support the mom and I have to support the kids because she is the mother.
She's still
And
playing the
imagine-
mother role.
Yeah, exactly. But
Mhm.
if we're just chilling and we're together and we're married and there's nothing involved and we end horribly, I have no, I'm not gonna do, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It is
And-
what it is, though.
We're throwing logic and a mature mindset on emotion.
Yeah.
Some people don't have emotion well. So regardless if that's the mother of my children, some people don't handle her like the mother of the children. Some people handle that's the girl that's trying to take money from me. That's the girl that's trying to disrespect me in my own house.
Mhm.
That's girl. People emotions run rampant all the time. So I just,
I agree,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on the situation, I guess. For this one though, like you're
We're
agreeing?
50-50. Where me and Mukhtar agree, you and Khalid agree.
All right. We'll leave it
We
at
are
that.
brothers.
We'll leave Ali status.
All right.
Mhm.
All right, we'll leave it off on that. We'll see you on the next clip. Thanks
Mhm.
again.
Sounds good.